Well, hello there from your chubbier and still quite unhealthy channel host. It's been a while, but yay, I'd like to come to you with more medical stuff. I'm not gonna post a video on what I'm currently going through right now because it's not long term, like it's either gonna end abruptly very, very soon with me being less whole of a human, or that's it. That's how it's gonna end. Like plain and simple. So I'm not gonna talk about it, and also I'm not gonna talk about it because there are people out there that are freaking jealous, and I don't even know why they're jealous. Like, look at me. I'm chubby. I'm not attractive. I'm not rich. I'm just a person with my opinions, and I don't aim to hurt anybody, but there are people out there that are just like jealous assholes, and in the communities that I trek with, any little thing that happens to any person, they want to lay claim to it. And it's just kind of like, I'm sorry, but I did this to me, which is even more sad if you think about it. I'm the villain. I'm the one. Like, I'm that much of a hard headed person that I did this to me. Sadly. you know? But anyways, those that know. And that's all that matters. And I'll look back on this video and I'll know what I was dealing with. But I don't really want to post too much online because everybody else that may find this channel will be like, oh, I did that to her. It's so fucking stupid. I hate it when people do that just in general. Like, why would you want to lay claim to that? Like, that's just like saying I'm too much of a pussy to fucking get in their face, like, person to person, and I have to go behind the scenes and do my little magic. Anyway, so, a person online was posting about how they just recently got an ADHD diagnosis, and I was really, really happy for them because I have actually been putting that on the back burner for the past 5 years or so. So the only things that I have tried in regards to that are toying with Wellbutrin, which seemed to work about a good 5-7 years ago, but recently when I tried it, I broke out in a rash. And now I understand that I broke out in a rash because it was hormone related. I know, sounds crazy, but it was, okay? And when I was taking it 7 years ago or so, let me see, I was taking it back in 2013, 2014, so that's more than 7 years, I think. Let's see, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 8 years ago. Okay. When I was taking it 8 years ago, I did notice a difference in my happiness and in my productivity and in my drive and in my temperament. And in my ability to get things done. Like, you would have never seen me sitting my ass on the couch for this long. The problem was, the drawbacks were anxiety, insomnia, tremors, jaw tightness, heart racing. I guess you would call that arrhythmia. I don't know. Is that what it's called? Sometimes you would have like emotional outbursts because technically Wellbutrin is an amphetamine. A lot of ADHD medications are amphetamines. They're all stimulants. There's some non-stimulant ones, but the majority are stimulants. And that is because what people have found out is that when your brain is running a million miles an hour, you get something else that's running a million miles an hour, and they seem to cancel each other out for some strange reason. Maybe that's why a lot of them drink coffee, and coffee calms them down, or they drink their energy drinks and that calms them down, or they'll take pre-workout and it actually does nothing for them because it calms them down. Not me. I take that shit and my heart is racing. So I'm not your stereotypical case. And I can't even drink coffee for that reason, because it's just like boom, 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 boom. Yeah, even the most minuscule coffee. I can only imagine if I would probably like just croak if I drank what some of y'all drink, which are like espresso shots and all this shit. Oh, fucking But anyways, so the reason that I'm looking to get a diagnosis is just to kind of make it official. Like, I'm a person who's big on titles and labels and shit like that, and I know I shouldn't be because I know what I am, but I need it to just be documented. You know what I mean? And it ain't gonna cost nothing, you know. It's just gonna be a little survey and maybe a couple conversations, and that's about it. But once I do that, I'll see. I'll see what the doctor has to offer me. But the things that I will not take are Ritalin. I will not take. What's the other one? Adderall. I will not take. And pretty much the only options that I might be open to are Vyvanse and Wellbutrin again, because Wellbutrin I'm familiar with, and Vyvanse has decent reviews. And coming off of Vyvanse, I need to study more on how people react coming off of it. But I know for a fact, like, coming off of Wellbutrin ain't that big a deal because I had been on and off of Wellbutrin all the time. Like, I'd take it for like 3 months and then come off. And then another 2 months and then come off. And then, like, nothing would happen. I would probably get like tinnitus and maybe a little bit of anxiety, but that was it. So, yeah. And I was on 150 milligrams XL, which means it's supposed to last throughout the day. But after watching a few videos on TikTok and people were saying I could feel it myself coming off of it like midday, it got me thinking, round about 3 or 4 o'clock, I would just want to crash and fall into a nap. Round about 3 or 4 o'clock anyway, I feel kind of nappy, but it was even more so then. But my body was a whole different body back then. So, last time I tried to take it, I broke out on a rash on my neck. But it was during the process of my hormones still kind of shifting up and down. So it looked very much like the rash that I was getting when I was experiencing the whole hormone crash thing. So they look very much alike. So I stopped taking it. But I'm aware of other alternatives. Like, things to just calm you down would be like valerian, chamomile, linden, weed, of course, CBD, a little, magnesium, for me specifically, magnesium hydroxide, I believe, and a little bit of magnesium glycinate. I mean, it's all right. That more so like calms my muscles down. It doesn't calm my brain down. L-theanine, I know for a fact makes you sleepy, and that's supposed to be in green tea. But honestly, the only options that I would really go with are probably Wellbutrin, Vyvanse, or weed. If I can find the right blend where it has just enough sativa in it to keep me active, then that'd be great. Problem is, now that I know that I have a thyroid thing, it being metabolized. When I would do that, I would get anxiety the next day. Not dangerous levels of anxiety, but the amount of calm that weed gave me, it would counterbalance and create that level of anxiety the next day. So if I was super calm to the point to where I was like a couch potato, it would counterbalance and create that level of anxiety the next day. So if I'm just right under the radar to where I'm chill and I don't interrupt you when we're talking, and I can perform tasks properly, I can manage my time better, I don't get distracted, I can live in the moment, I sleep well, my joints don't hurt. That's an added benefit, by the way, to having a little bit of weed. If I can accomplish all that, then hopefully I'll be able to balance it out. Or maybe even I wouldn't even need to do it every single day. I could do it every few days because maybe it would stay in my system. I don't know. That's more experimentation. So, first step is getting the diagnosis, you know. Um, Now that I know that even though it's not provable on paper because all my levels are normal, I can hopefully metabolize things better. So, on a better note, with that being said, I've finally settled on the correct diet. And it is the most boring diet ever. And it is basically like a bodybuilder's diet. Yeah. It's chicken, rice, vegetables, fruits, what you would figure. No added carbs. Like lots of bodybuilders and or athletes might incorporate lots of carbs so that they can like build fat and build energy so that they can bulk. Like that makes sense, but we're talking about I need to slim down, not only for my weight but for my joints. And so while I was in the hospital, I was eating the hospital food, which I'm not going to complain. It was bland, but it was decent. I continued to eat that way about a week after I was discharged, and I lost like, I think it was like 7 pounds. And I hadn't lost that amount of weight in like 2 years that quickly. And it was like, it wasn't water, it was fat because I felt the difference in my skin. My fat wasn't hard, it got soft. So I was like, okay, we found our formula and we're going to stick with that. So get ready. But yeah, so it would be super easy for me to go online and get a diagnosis, but a lot of people that are advertising that service to get diagnosis online are scam artists. And I don't want a scam artist taking my insurance. I don't want to have somebody commit insurance fraud, and I don't want to be paying for services that are unnecessary. So I would much rather just go to someone that I know for a fact is a psychologist or a therapist in person and ask them to do the diagnosis. And I really hope that it's that easy, because the last person I went to was like a counselor, and he was like, so let's talk about your childhood. And I was like, we were like 5 sessions in and still talking about like mommy and daddy issues. I was like, what the fuck does this have to do with getting diagnosed with ADHD? It had absolutely nothing to do with getting diagnosed with ADHD. It had to do with making their pocket full, which I get, you got to make a living. But I was like, that's not what I'm here for. You will make more money off of me if you hurry me to my diagnosis and then I talk to you about my problems from there. You know, like that's how you're going to win with me. Give me what I want first and then I'll give you what you want. You know, so anyways, so my therapy lately has been making bracelets. These are the ones that obviously haven't sold yet. Actually, this one has. And it gives me something for my hands to do. It gives me something for my brain to do. And it gives me something for my pocket as well. So win, 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 win all the way around. And they're mainly religious. We'll just put it like that. But yeah, so that's been what I've been doing, and while I'm in the healing process. So that's the next step. I don't really have much more to say about the Mirena thing, about the Mirena crash, about what it did to my thyroid. That's all in previous videos. Somebody recently messaged me. They had questions about like, what have I been doing? I've been doing the same thing. I've been trying to maintain my anxiety through what I just told you. Trying to healthy eat, trying to quell it like with weed, with magnesium, with exercise, with keeping myself busy. But I refuse, absolutely refuse to get back on birth control because there's no reason. I'm married, you know, and or to get on hormone therapy. There's no reason. I'm not going to. Unless I've begun the onset of menopause, I'm going to try to rough it. I mean, I'll help the symptoms, but I'm going to stick it through the way my grandmother did, the way her parents did. My mom didn't and my sister didn't because they had other underlying problems. So I'm going to be doing this on my own because nobody else in my family has their uterus. I'm the only one that still does. So I'm just going to have to figure it out. But unless it's absolutely necessary, then I'm not taking supplemental hormones. I'm not. And I don't encourage it with other people, but it's your body, it's your choice. But I'm not going to. So anyway, that's about it. Thanks for watching if you did, and for wasting 16 minutes of your time. And hopefully I'll be back later with a better update.